Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You asked for it, here it is, the updated gearing guide 2022 from season to endgame. Let's jump straight into it. Hi guys, so a few things to note about this gear check here that I'm going to do a rundown on. The link will be in the description, so you can take this Garmoth planner, you can make adjustments to it for you, and you can save it on your own Garmoth. Again, link will be in the description, click it, you can check it all through whenever you need to. Secondly, this one here will actually include both Succession, Awakening, DR, and Evasion. The changes and the differences in the builds up until what I would like to call endgame is actually very, very small. I know this might surprise some people, but the builds are almost identical all the way up to endgame. So all of them will be included here. Now, which classes should play DR or Evasion? I know a lot of people have been asking questions about that. Link is in the description. I have a video guide on that where I share my thoughts on classes building DR and Evasion, which should do which and why. So again, all that info should be in the description. Don't forget to check it out if you have any questions about that along the way. So here we go. First slide, we are after season. And right now we chose the Pin Kaposha necklace as the end of season reward. It is the best one of the Pin Kaposha accessories. If you are doing multiple seasons, you might want to pick the belt, the ring, or whatever. But yeah, this is basically your kit as soon as the season ends. You're gonna have the full Pin Tuvala, the Pin Kaposha. I would recommend getting the Spirit Stones. The Destruction one is really good. Minor things, but it does help quite a bit with the grind along the way. Okay, the next here is what to do with your Tuvala gear. You can go and talk to Gentina and you can exchange all your Tuvala gear once per family into boss pieces, the reformed boss armors here. And this is very, very important. If you look at the Tuvala gear, the boots is actually Muskan boots. The helmet is a Giath helmet. The chest is a Dimtree, and the gloves are Bex. Now, when we turn them into the boss pieces, they will be those respectable boss items, but you can talk to Gentina and you can actually exchange the boots to Oragons, etc, etc. Now, this right here is the layout and kit you should be going for. Every single player should be getting the Tet Oragons. Bex Griffin helmet is the best. The Giath is not bad, it's almost identical, but Griffin is slightly better. Now, for the chest, you could go Red Nose. Dimtree is better because it gives 200 HP, but other than that, they're identical. Now, the advantage of taking Red Nose is that once you start putting Kaffers into it, it's actually cheaper to Kaffer. So by the time you get this Kaffer level 10, which is what you will need eventually for Fallen Guard armor, you will have saved 1000 Kaffers by using the Red Nose, which is, depending on your server and prices at the time, anywhere from 2.5 billion to 3 billion silver you will have saved when you make your Fallen Guard armor. However, all that time up until that point, you will be missing out on 200 HP. It's up to you. Personally, I think the Dimtree is worth it. I think that 200 HP is worth it while you are working on your Fallen Guard. You're going to be using that for a very long time, but it's up to you. Now, even if your DR or Evasion does not matter, get Oragon boots. Most important thing to do here. Other than that, this should be laid out right now. Step 3, you should be working here on getting your a Tet Crescent. Tet Crescent first, you can buy this, no problem. You're then going to be working on the guaranteed pin system with Gentina, on getting your awakening weapon towards pin and your chest armor towards pin as well. This is very important that it's these two items you work on if you are awakening. Now, I have here step 3.1. It's if you're Succession, you're gonna leave your Dante at level 0, and you're gonna be working on a Tet Blackstar main hand instead, saving money for that and your Tet Crescent. Now, while you're doing all of this, I think it's also a very good idea that you work on your guaranteed accessory. You can eventually make a pin crescent ring and go for the crescent, not the tongue grid or the narc. The crescent ring is what you want to start working towards. Do your daily quest, start getting there. You're gonna need the Tit ring eventually as well. So throughout this, I'm going to be making a DR Awakening build, but all the differences I will be adding in, just like here if you decide to go Succession. Now, if you're Succession, you're gonna keep your Dante all the way through at Tet until we switch it, and your Black Star here in main hand. Right, step 4, we go from here, you get your Dante to pin and your armor to pin, and now you wanna get a Tet Black Star for your main hand. Now, step 4, if you are Succession, well, it's the same, except we now upgrade our Tet Dante to a Tet Black Star. It's gonna help a lot for the monster damage, and the Awakening Weapon doesn't do too much else. You could wait with this here. The Awakening Weapon for Succession is not that important, but I think it's worth it. You're gonna want it anyway, it's great for PvE. So, we're gonna continue on here. Step 4, pin Awakening Weapon, pin chest, and get it Cafe level 4. This is very important. Every single time you get a pin armor, your number 1 priority is get it to Cafe level 4. Long story short, it is extremely good value. It is very cheap for the stats you get getting Cafe level 4 on any boss armor piece. Not the weapons, but the armors. So you get the pin, you get a Cafe level 4, you got your AP here, you're now gonna be 261 AP. Now, next up, when you're 261, same gear here, you are going to start really putting time into your journals. The journals are very good, and I would recommend anyone even on season, off season, whenever you have time for it, whenever you feel like it, do some work on your journals. Eventually you want to make them all complete, and trust me on this one, it's a lot easier if you do it a bit at a time, instead of going from 0 to 100% on these. It can be very, very, very overwhelming. But at this point here with your gearing, while you're working on more progression, as you'll see here in the next slide, you really should be putting time in prioritizing Igor Batali's book. It's gonna give you 4 AP, bringing you to 265 AP. It's the biggest bracket in the game for AP. So getting this one done is insane silver value if you were to get those 4 AP in your gear stats instead. Now, next up here, the next slide. While you're doing all of this, you are continuing working on your guaranteed pin crescent ring. When you get it to Tet, it should hopefully be around this time here. Use it. Don't sit around waiting with your materials, just get it to Tet right away and then get on the long grind for pin. This one here, getting the crescent is going to give you 3 AP, and here you really want to start working then and prioritizing doing your Doran Morgrim's journal. As you see here, the quest ring and Doran's journal, it's going to give you 1 more AP, bringing you to 269, which is the last major bracket. Doran's is relatively easy to make. You're going to turn in some boss pieces. It is worth doing. The value of that AP and even the boss outweigh the cost of the armors by far. Okay, looking at the next slide, we are now going to finish off our full Tet AP accessories. A Tet Bassi belt, and then Cafe level 1 on our Dante. It will give us the 4 next AP we need for an AP bracket. Relatively cheap bracket, and after here it's going to be a lot more expensive. Here on step 7, it's also when you're looking to get a Garmoth Heart enchant on your Awakening Weapon. After this point, when you're full Tet accessories, your next big upgrades are going to be a Vel's Heart and Distos for damage, and the Garmoth Heart with the crystals actually provide way more stats per silver. So you could either be doing the quest for this one, start really putting effort into that, or hopefully buy one or get a drop. But getting a Garmoth Heart for Awakening Weapon is a really, really good thing at this point here. At this stage here, you should be getting your next pin armor. This has to be the gloves. Get the gloves, pin, and Cafe level 4, and then start working on all your enchants. Early on, I forgot to mention that, you can see it in the slide. The neck enchant, you can buy that on the marketplace for 250 mil. It is super worth it. Just get it on early. I think we're already here in step 3 on my list getting it. Super cheap and really, really, really good to get. Working on the enchants. With this gear level here, using potentially defensive artifacts, you're gonna have no issues grinding at Elvia Realm. Elvia was just reworked, it's a lot more accessible. All the what used to be the lower end grind spots in Elvia are buffed up, easier to do, really good money. So I would suggest you prioritize grinding in those areas, work on your enchants. If you're going for survivability, blue enchants. If you're going pure PvE, the yellow enchants for damage is the way to go. If you feel like you're a bit squishy, you should be using defensive artifacts for PvE. And if you feel like this is more than enough DP, which it should be, go with offensive artifact setups. Check out my artifact guide in the description as well for more info about this. Right. So when you get the gloves, this is the pivotal moment. So up until this point here, you'll notice there's no decision about DR or evasion. So up to this point here, you're still using your TED gloves and your TED boots. It's the exact same if you're a DR build in the future or a evasion build, right? No difference. This is where you make your decision. So if you are DR, you will use the guaranteed upgrade system. Or you could buy a pair of gloves here, so you can sell them later if you want to switch to evasion down the road. But you get your gloves here, and it's the same thing with evasion. However, if you go for evasion build, you're going for the Libra gloves and getting those careful level 4. I know this is a warrior layout, but let's say you're playing striker, it's the exact same. So now is the time where you need to really look into, should I go evasion, should I go DR? And I do have another link in the description, me talking about the DR versus evasion and which classes I think should build what. So check that out if you're still not sure. Right, next up, we are now going to be making Thieves Journal. Now this is a big step here, right? We're getting double TED distos. So this is a long grind. I'm fully aware of this. This is one of the biggest jumps there is in this gear stuff here. So you get your gloves, you're 3 PN item C4, and the next up you're looking for 2 TED distos. You get a TED disto, you get the second TED disto, and while doing that, you are working on your Thieves Journal and your Saga Journal. So that's your Thief Encyclopedia. It's really annoying, I'm just gonna warn you. It sucks to do, but it's worth doing at this point. That's why we saved this one for all the way down here. So you're going to be doing that. It's going to give us 1 more AP. And then the Barrier of Infestation, it's made soloable now. You don't need a group anymore. With this gear layout here, you should have no issues working on it. It's going to take you 5 weekly quests to get it done. And that's going to bring us to 289 AP with our Kudum. One thing I can see here, I did forget to note, is you want to get your Reform level 4 Kudum. Again, check it out in the list. It's 2 AP. I'll just at this point here make a quick note about the Reform level 4 Kudum. Reform level 4 Kudum has the same sheet stats as a pin Kudum, but it's so much cheaper. This is around 2-3 billion silver to get the same stats as a pin Kudum. It's incredible value, and you should be getting this very early on. Again, you can check here in the list when it is. I suggest getting it. Now, after this point, now you're looking to finish off your pin armors and getting Cafe level 6. If you are evasion, as you can see here, you are now finishing off your boots or changing those to muskins. I would suggest just buying a pair of muskins here. You already have your TED Oragons. You can use those on boss souls. You can't sell them, it's the reforms. Buy a pair of pin Oragons, get those Cafe levels in. You're looking for full C6 across the board. Here on step 12, we are making some changes as well, sort of. You can see that the AP went up here. It's because for PvP purpose, this is where you want to get a Gammoth Heart on your offhand. When you're full pin C6, the survivability value of the Fury offhand becomes worth the money, in my opinion. So if you are DR build, you should be getting a pin Nuver for PvP, and you could honestly get it way sooner. You should pretty much as soon as possible have either TED Nuver or pin Nuver for PvP if you're a DR. So that's why I threw it in here to illustrate that you want to put your Gammoth Heart offhand on your PvP offhand. So if you're DR, that's a Nuver. And if you are evasion, well, that's going to be on your Kudum that you want to put your Garmoth Heart on. Right, so the next step here after getting a Garmoth Heart offhand enchant is going to be hopefully finishing off your Pin Crescent. The Pin Crescent is the one you've been doing on your daily quest all the way through, and then you're going to go C5 on your Dende for 293 AP. That's 4 more AP and another bracket in the banks. The next step here, you sorted out most of your AP. 293 AP Kudum is massive. Now you need to prioritize your Fallen Guard armor and your Nebraska helmet. I would definitely suggest getting Fallen Guard armor first. It's going to be a lot easier, the flames are more available, and it's just really great, right? So you want to get your chest to cafe level 10, get the flame, make it into a Fallen Guard armor, and then you're gonna continue that, but on your helmet, cafe level 10, get the flame into a Nebraska helmet. Now, the next step here is sorting out your C9 Kafir. You're not really going to be doing a whole lot of your AP anymore. 293 Kudum, it's incredible high. Now it's all about catching up with that DP in the rest of your gear and sorting out full C9. And of course, throughout all of this, please keep working on those journals, get that DP, get that HP, it is incredibly valuable. The travelogue you don't have to worry about, it's basically just for enhancing, but all the other ones, they should be knocked out and sorted at this point here. Do yourself a massive favor, don't slack on your journals. Now, this right here is basically it. This is what I would call endgame setup. After this, you're looking at potential pin accessories. You're looking for C20 armors, you're looking for maybe pin black stars, etc, etc. The upgrades after this becomes extremely expensive, and this is also the point where you need to start specializing your gear a bit more towards what you want to excel at. But all the way up until this point here, it doesn't matter if you're DR, Evasion, Succession, or Awakening, this is your progress.